I've analyzed hundreds of sales calls, and through thousands of hours of data, I've finally understood the difference between a $30,000 a month sales rep and a sales rep that's making $5,000 a month in commissions. And the difference is not the scripts, it's not the leads, it's not even the work ethic. The difference relies in systems. Because at $30,000 a month in commissions, you know exactly why you're losing deals, you have the right training process, even without a mentor, and you've built an ecosystem to allow you to take your own sales data and know exactly where you need to improve on. And all of this can be done using the power of AI. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system that we built to be able to scale reps to $30,000 a month in commissions using AI structure. If you've been in high ticket sales long enough, or you're looking to get into high ticket sales, you probably know something about objection handling. You know what probing looks like on paper, but you don't have a systemized structure on how to do it properly. Heck, you probably even have a mentor. You get your sales calls reviewed by that mentor, and it still feels like you don't know what you're really doing. When I was making $5,000 a month, I was told to just build more pain or probe deeper here, but I didn't really understand why or how exactly to go about it. So I went and built an AI system to allow me to understand exactly what's going on in my sales calls, and I backed that with hundreds of thousands of hours of data from actual sales calls so that my AI bot can be trained on what to do next. I would lose so many deals because I didn't probe deep enough. I would always get to the end of the sales call and hear, I need to think about it. I need to talk to my spouse, or I'm just not ready to commit yet. And these are all objections that should have been pre-handled, but I didn't know how to actually pre-handle them. In fact, every time I would ask a question, I would get a vague answer like, oh, I just want to make more money. And then I get stuck in this loop of asking question after question and getting these vague answers and feeling like I got nowhere. So here's the system that I built. And I know what you're gonna think, oh, it's just another ChatGPT. ChatGPT can't help me with sales. And you're right. It's not another ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is not really trained on sales. It's actually trained on general knowledge. So how can we get AI to really help us with our sales process if AI is trained on general knowledge and not specifically on sales? The first thing that we need to understand is unbiased scoring. When you listen to your own sales call, you're not hearing it objectively, because when you listen to your own sales call, or you have a mentor listen to your sales call, it's heard objectively. It's not heard with this unbiased opinion. If you listen to a sales call that you felt confident about, you felt good on that sales call, then you're gonna be biased and say, oh, it was a good sales call. And then if you listen to a bad sales call that you had, you're gonna say, well, it was bad. But you need to look at it with an unbiased scorecard. Every sales call, no matter whether a call closed or didn't close, there's always things that could be improved in that sales call. So you need an unbiased scorecard. And this is why AI is perfect for this level of sales training, because it doesn't have a bias. It looks at a sales call and sees what's wrong with it and tells you what to improve. And if you can back it with the right data, back it with the right probing techniques, the right objection handling, the right prospect psychology, and understanding true limiting beliefs, you're not gonna have this AI slop. You're gonna have a real tool that's better than any other mentor. It's not gonna lie to make you feel better. It's gonna give you the hard truth. And that's what we want. And after analyzing 500,000 hours of sales calls, the reason why these calls don't close is not because of the objection handling. It's because of the probing. We need to understand how to avoid vague answers, because if you ask a prospect and they give you a vague answer like, oh, I just wanna make more money, or I just wanna see what this is about, then you're gonna get stuck in this loop of asking questions where it feels like you're getting nowhere. So we wanna understand how to properly contextualize questions and probe deeper to pre-handle these objections. And the next best thing about AI is that it can tell you exactly what to drill. Based on your sales call data and where you're struggling, it can give you interactive lessons on what to drill. Because it's one thing to know your weakness on a sales call, but it's another thing to understand exactly how to get through your struggles. Because let's say you have a prospect and they're being procrastinative about their goals. Their goal was to make $20,000 a month, and they've had this goal that they've been sitting on for the last 9 months. But their situation at home is that they're a father of 2 kids and they're struggling to pay the bills. How do you build urgency with that person? You might ask them, how serious are you on a scale of 1 to 10? And that doesn't really get them anywhere. But a real way is to build urgency where they're admitting it to you and defending a new way of thinking. And so AI might build you a sequence where you're drilling this exact process, where you ask the prospect, Mr. Prospect, you said to me your goal was to make $20,000 over the last 9 months. And if we do the math on that, that's over 180 grand. How does that really sit with you that we've lost out on 180 grand that could have gone to providing our kids a better life? Oh, it doesn't sit with me well, right? Because what's really changed over the last 9 months? Nothing. Why haven't we held ourselves to this standard yet? And then you might go into that second version of that prospect, that second version of John, who already has XYZ, who was already able to do X, Y, and Z. John, what would that second version of you be screaming at you to do every single day? He'd be screaming at me to do this. And why should we listen to that second version of ourselves rather than continuing things the way that they happen? That exact kind of process is what you can get AI to teach you on a daily basis from your sales calls. You're not gonna understand these things on your own. You're not gonna have a mentor being able to provide you this level of insight, because most of your sales mentors don't understand sequences like this. They don't understand that on a deep level. They're not data backed. And that's why you need an actual system if you want to get from $5,000 a month to $30,000 a month like Kaleb. Kaleb was working at Target. He was making $2,000 a month. And then when he stepped into high ticket sales, he was able to have a fully systemized routine on how to get better at sales every single day. And so when he hopped on his first offer, he would take sales calls, he would get a ton of objections on his sales calls, and then he would use his system to get better every single day. It would recommend him drills, point out his weaknesses in his sales calls, where he missed on probing, where he could have pre-handled a limiting belief with a prospect. And from there, it made it so easy for him to scale from making $2,000 a month working at Target to being able to make money online, fully remote from wherever he wants, making $30,000 a month at 18 years old. And maybe you're really technical and you can build your own software, that's great. But majority of you just want to learn how to make money online and you want to probably get better at sales in general. So what I did is I built a platform called Voxa. I wanted a platform that would be unbiased and score sales calls correctly based off proven data of real prospects and real sales call recordings. And so we took 500,000 hours of sales call data and we trained our model on it because we didn't want to give some ChatGPT AI slop. We wanted it to be really good training that you couldn't get anywhere from any other mentor in the space because again, it's unbiased. It's not biased to one way. It uses real data to train you on exactly what you need to do. So imagine you take a sales call and then you see a notification pop up on your phone that your sales call analysis is ready. You click that analysis and you're able to see exactly what went wrong. You see all of the missed probes, everywhere where you lacked acknowledgement in your sales call because acknowledgement is what builds trust. And most of you probably don't know how to acknowledge your prospect correctly. Most of you are probably saying, yeah, totally understandable, or 100%, oh yeah, I get it. And then you move on to the next question. Well, our systems can point that out and show you exactly what you need to be saying to build that level of trust and certainty in your prospects and be able to probe deeper to handle these objections. In Voxa, your sales call is going to get graded on 11 categories: probing depth, objection handling, tonality, coping mechanism detection, because a lot of prospects will have these limiting beliefs and coping mechanisms that they'll voice that a lot of people don't even pick up on, banned phrase usage, discovery quality, authority positioning, urgency building, and the actual close itself. So whether you're a setter or you're a closer or you're just starting in the high ticket industry, you need Voxa to be able to understand this level of training. And if you struggle with probing on your sales calls and you don't understand why you're getting the vague answers that you get, then you need to understand contextualization. You need to understand question framing. And that's where you can use the probe trainer on Voxa, and it will train you on how to probe correctly to avoid these vague answers, get the deeper answers that you're looking for out of your prospects, and be able to reframe them on the things that they need to be reframed on so that you can pre-handle these objections like, I need to think about it, I need to talk to my spouse, or it's just too expensive at the end of your sales calls. Because I'm sure it's really annoying getting to the end of every sales call and getting objections, knowing that you're in high ticket sales and you shouldn't really be getting these objections in the first place. So look, the $30,000 a month commission sales reps are not superhumans. They just have better systems than you do. And if you want to work with me one-on-one and get access to my software, Voxa, where you can upload all of your sales calls, get trained on 500,000 hours of sales call data, and be able to leverage AI to get better at sales, to be able to work from literally wherever you want and build that dream life of yours, where you're able to just print money online, then I left a link in the description where you can apply to work with me below. And for the rest of you that are going to continue trying to learn things on YouTube, try using ChatGPT or doing things on your own, then I'm going to laugh and wish you good luck. And if you want more value like this, subscribe.